What's up YouTube, I'm Guy. Today on the channel I wanted to do just a quick video talking about the Rolex Submariner and straps. If you follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, also on my YouTube account, you'll notice that, or I should say you'll remember that in the last week or two I've posted a number of pictures showing off my Submariner on different strap options. Be it leather straps like these two here, the silicone strap, and even some NATO straps. I had a lot of people ask me, what do I do to install new straps? Or, how do I remove the Oyster Bracelet from my Submariner? Probably with an emphasis on doing it safely without causing any damage to your watch. Well, I'm going to show you guys how I do that today. And then I'm also going to install it on a new strap I just got. This here is a very nice rubber strap by Everest. Where did I get this strap? Well, a viewer saw all of those pictures of me trying out my Submariner on new straps, and he said, hey, I have this Everest strap that I just don't use, and if you'd be interested, I'll go ahead and send it to you. So they sent this over to me. They gifted this to me, which is absolutely amazing. I have to give that viewer a big, huge thank you for sending me the strap. I am excited to put it on the Submariner and to try it out. I have a feeling I'm going to love it. Taking your Submariner off of its Oyster Bracelet requires, at a minimum, some sort of spring bar tool. Now, most of us have a spring bar tool like this here. This is a Bergeon 6767F. On one end it has just a little pusher point. On the other end it has a fine fork. Now, a spring bar tool like this may work, but it's not the best option. It's not what I use. What I do use this on most of my other watches, though. This is an excellent tool. But on my Rolex, what I use is this. It is the Bergeon number 7825. This is a, well, I think they probably say here, spring bar tweezers is how they describe it. And that's exactly what it is. It's basically tweezers with little spring bar forks on either end here. And there's nice rubber caps to protect those forks, because replacing the forks is very expensive. This unit by itself is, off the top of my head, shoot, I don't remember. I think it's like $150 or more, and to replace the forks is the majority of the cost. And if it's not $150, it's like close to $200. It's a very expensive tool, but you can remove your bracelet from your Submariner, or any Rolex watch for that matter, very easily with this tool. So this is what I use. So let's suppose you didn't want to spend the $150 to $200 on that fancy Bergeon tweezer tool. Could you just use one of these little normal spring bar tools? Well, this 6767 by Bergeon, which is an outstanding tool, it has a very high grade tip, does not fit inside of the slot to reach the spring bar. You can't physically get in there to remove the spring bar with this tool. So if there is a tool that does work, that is more affordable than the tweezer tool that I have, this one isn't it. But I do recommend getting this for all your other watches. I've used this on my Omega Speedmaster, all of my Hamilton watches, Seiko watches. This is an outstanding tool by itself. So here's that Bergeon, it's a funny name, isn't it? I don't know how you pronounce it. Bergeon, whatever, 7825 spring bar tweezers. If you look at the tips here, see if I can get it to focus. Very, very fine forked points, and you can see that they are screwed on to the end of this tweezer. You just slide it there, compress the spring bar, and pull it apart. Now, would I normally suggest using masking tape in order to protect the undersides and the top sides of the lugs, as well as maybe the center of your end link? I think it would be a good idea. Normally I don't. I'm not too terribly concerned with scratching the underside of my case, and I never have. It's pretty easy to just stick the tool in there, compress that spring bar, and pop the end link off, but you could slip, and these tips are very sharp, so you do want to be careful. So there's our oyster bracelet removed from the Submariner watch head. Pretty simple with this Bergeon, what is that number? 7825 tool. Very expensive tool, but it makes the removal of the bracelet from the watch head super simple. I'm going to install this Everest strap here in a moment, but I want to talk about it for a minute before I do that. First impressions of this strap, it really is outstanding. One of the nice things about it is that the ends are custom fit so that they should, we can just kind of size it up here to take a look, just perfectly fit in with the Submariner's case. And I'm doing it through my viewfinder, so forgive me for kind of fumbling around a little bit, but let me squeeze it in there. Alright, get it back on camera. So yeah, the end just fits absolutely perfectly with the case of the Submariner, which is really cool. And if we look at the underside, there is cutouts so that we can get our spring bar tool in there in order to install and remove the spring bars. Overall, yeah, it's a really nice, very high-end kind of custom fit, and overall, very, very impressed with it. Now this strap is made out of what they call vulcanized rubber, and the only other style straps like this that I'm really familiar with are silicone straps, like this Barton strap here. Now this Barton strap is a $20 strap, and I really like it a lot for what it is. It does include quick detach spring bars, which is nice, but the tips of the spring bars are not as big as the 2mm spring bars that go in your Rolex Submariner. So I would be concerned, and people have mentioned this to me, that like those tips kind of will rattle around in the case holes, and it could gall or malform or deform the holes in your case. So yeah, that's something to be concerned about. On a more affordable watch, I would definitely use this though. I like it. Quality is outstanding for $20, but much more flexible, much more lightweight. I wouldn't use the word flimsy. This doesn't feel flimsy, but yeah, just overall not as heavy duty as this vulcanized rubber that the Everest strap is using. I am super impressed with this strap so far. Also the hardware. This buckle looks like, I mean, the quality is outstanding. It feels like a piece of the Rolex bracelet. I believe it's 316L and not 904 stainless steel, but just the machining and the quality, everything about it is top-notch. Now installing this should be pretty straightforward and self-explanatory. Take one of our spring bars, slide it into the hole here, and then we're just going to put it on the case of the watch, like taking the bracelet off, but in reverse. Alright, so there we have it. I don't know how well that went on frame, if I was moving too much. I apologize if it wasn't super a super straightforward and good example of the installation, but yeah, it was just very difficult to do on camera. Nevertheless though, just stick your little spring bar tweezers in there, compress the spring bars, get them down inside of the case spring bar holes, and once it's in, give it a little bit of a tug to make sure that they're not going anywhere, and that's it. So what are my initial impressions of the Everest strap on the Rolex Submariner? Very, very nice. The form-fitting nature of the ends of the strap on the case is outstanding. It looks stock. It looks like it came from the Rolex factory with this rubber strap as an option. How is it going to fit on the wrist? Well, let's go ahead and find out. As is often the case, my main concern with this strap was, will it be too long for my 6 3/4 inch wrist? And by that I mean, will there be too much of this tail hanging over the edge of the strap? And it is basically just barely short enough, or it is almost too long, but it works, it's okay. If my wrist were smaller, say 6.5 inches, and I had to go another notch tighter, I think I would have an annoying amount of this extra tail hanging over, but we just pull this keeper up here so that we can secure that down. And yeah, no real problems. As far as the overall initial comfort here, yeah, I like it a lot. An interesting thing that I've noticed, about putting my Submariner on different straps. The watch, it kind of feels, it wears smaller when it's on a strap because you don't have the big extensions of the end links coming down here like you would on the bracelet. On the bracelet, this T-shaped end link, that center horn, gives an overall impression of more distance lug to lug on the watch when it's on the wrist. And when I put it on straps, I notice that it seems to wear, or feel like it wears, just a little bit smaller. So that might be appealing for some people that feel like this watch wears a little bit too big. The keepers are decent. This one is retained. There's little rubber tabs here to keep it from moving around, and then this one is floating. I will say that this one could be a little more snug. It feels a little bit loose. I have a feeling it might want to wander on its own, potentially. So that might be a small negative, a mild complaint, that this keeper isn't a little bit more snug to the strap itself. We'll see how that plays out over time, but yeah, overall, really, really impressed. Very nice strap. Big thank you to the viewer that sent it over to me. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I hope you guys liked checking out the process of how I install a strap on the Submariner. More importantly, how to remove the Oyster Bracelet from the Submariner, and the tool that I use. Again, if we can find the label here, the Bergeon 7825 spring bar tweezers. It's really the only way to do it, in my opinion, if you want to be safe and if you want to make sure that you don't mess up your watch too terribly badly. Alright guys, well that's going to wrap this video up. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. As always, down in the description of this and every video I do is a number of ways you can help support me and this channel. If you'd like to follow me on my social media accounts, be it Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, I would appreciate that. And you'll get sort of sneak peeks into things that I'm doing outside of the average day-to-day videos here, like this little strap project that I've been posting about. Yeah, so follow me on social media. There's some extra stuff there for you guys. Number two, I could always use more support on Patreon, and a big thanks to the guys that have been supporting me on Patreon. I greatly appreciate it. Finally, if you like anything that I've reviewed and you want to purchase it, I will have links to Amazon through my affiliate account. If you click on that link before you do your Amazon shopping, it credits me with a small commission for every transaction that you do on Amazon. So if you want to buy something I've reviewed, or anything else for that matter, I do get a small commission if you click on that link first, and I greatly appreciate everyone that's been using that Amazon affiliate link. Well, that's going to wrap this one up for today, so until the next one, bye now.